nation. No donation, no salvation.
And remember, respect is everything.
And we are back, and I finally found Legacy Breakdown. Well, I didn't find him, I bought him on eBay because I managed to find one for a decent price. I'm gonna go ahead and take a good look at him. I am gonna talk about the car mode, because I know that's been kind of a source of, I guess, controversy between G1 fans. But we'll get to this. I'll talk about it in a minute. But let's look at the actual figure first. Let's get him out of the packaging. And then this must be the weapons. Here, let's stand them up. Oh, knocked over my tires. Watch the tires, man. Alright, first impressions, the robot mode looks pretty good. Looks about as close to the G1 model I guess you could get at a deluxe price point. Not too bad. Alright. I like to leave it, the backpack collapsed in. I don't even know why they bothered adding that whole extra thing to splay it out like that. It doesn't look right to me, so I just leave it as one solid piece. Let's look at the weapons real quick. I'm actually okay with the spoiler being a weapon, only because it kind of reminds me of a boomerang. And if you've ever seen the second Mad Max movie, there was a really funny scene where a dude tried to catch a boomerang knife and it chopped his fingers off. So that's the only reason I can even justify this, is because of the hilarity in that. Although in reality, I mean, you seriously couldn't just make that split? I mean, it's whatever. Whatever! That's the least of my concerns. Oh, there's the gun. Really not much else to look at. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get to the transformation, because I really want to talk about the car mode. Because I know people are very mixed upon the nature of it, and I do kind of want to discuss it in great detail, since I am a car person, and, you know, this kind of stuff does matter to me, because, you know, I brought a lot of material with me to discuss it, so be thankful that I'm even putting any effort into this argument at all. I wouldn't really call it an argument, it's just me just rambling, looking for an excuse to talk about cars. If I can remember correctly, how does his head fold down? No biggie. Oh. Whoa. What was that? That scared the crap. That didn't sound good. Open the legs. Rotate the waist. If you've seen Wild Rider, you should already know how to transform, because it's literally the same figure, just remolded slightly. It is what it is. Alright, so let's go ahead and clip the legs together. Ooh, God, I'm kind of worried now. Like, I'm scared he's gonna break at some point. Which wouldn't surprise me, because Hasbro's quality control recently is really reminding me of General Motors from the 80s. But that's only if you've been around vehicles that were built by General Motors from the 80s. As much as I have, because I like to go to a lot of car events, and IROC Camaros are very cool, so, you know, I like to talk to people about them. Anyway, I should be explaining the transformation, but, I mean, like I said, it's literally just Wild Rider, but he's white now. This should just fold right down. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't want to break it, so I had to be a little more careful. Okay. Let's go ahead and plug the spoiler in, and then... Alright, whatever. The gun goes to the side. Alright, for this next segment, this isn't really part of the review. It's not super important, so if you don't really care about listening to me rant about a bunch of car stuff, you're pretty much good from here. But I wanted to talk about something that I felt was kind of relevant to the matter of breakdown. So obviously, I understand why people are upset, because at the end of the day, it's literally just the same car mode. They just stuck a spoiler and some rear louvers on it. I understand it's very lazy on Hasbro's part, and in some cases is a little unacceptable, but it's Hasbro. You have to expect these things. I'm not saying it's justified. I'm just saying that's the reality of it. I mean, if they can save a few bucks, they're gonna do it. But here's the thing. Let's take a look at the actual cars they're modeled after. Here's a Ferrari 308, and then here's the Lambo Countach. Now, at the end of the day, they're both 80s sports cars. They both came from Italy. But this, to me, makes a little more sense than a Ferrari 458 Italia representing a Porsche 928. Because, as you can see, Dead End is not even the right brand of car. Now, you could argue that this kind of has the same shape as the Porsche 918, but the headlights and even the shape of the rear, I'm not buying that. In reality, if they really wanted to include off-road, they should have made him a repaint of Dead End instead of, you know, Wild Rider being the exclusive. But it is what it is. I know it doesn't justify their laziness from a car guy's perspective. I don't know. To me, in my eyes, I'll take this over two cars that have nothing to do with each other. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, Porsches are German sports cars, so how does that translate to a Ferrari? At the end of the day, he's going to be stuck on the back of Menasor. These three are going to be my individual bots, and I'm just going to enjoy them as is. Alright, well now that I've wasted about, what, like 5 minutes ranting about sports cars and whatnot, let's actually get to the final form, which is Menasor, since I technically reviewed these three. I didn't review Dragstrip just because he was part of a mega toy haul, so I didn't review him individually, but anyway, let's get Menasor here. Hopefully I don't botch this, so let's see. If I remember correctly, breakdown is going to go on this side, so I'm trying, okay, there we go. And then you just fold that forward. And this is supposed to come out. I'm trying to be really careful because there's a lot of clear plastic and I don't want to bust it. There we go. Okay. Oh my god, looks like a really bad car accident. That's funny. But anyway, I'm sorry about going off on that mindless rant for God knows how long about cars, but I mean, it was important to me, so understand as a car person, these kind of things do matter. But anyway, let's see. So this is supposed to go into these tabs. Okay. Okay, I ended up doing that off screen because I didn't want to break anything, but you literally just push them in. I was just having trouble because I wanted to get it on camera, but anyway, that's what I assume is the correct configuration. And honestly, just visually, I mean, it's not even that noticeable if we're talking about the combined form, since that's pretty much where I'm going to leave these at. Drag strip is supposed to go in like this. Alright, let me see if I can get that on camera for you. And then that's, okay, that's actually, you know what? That's kind of clever. Basically, yeah, it just transforms out. At least that's what it's implying anyway, which I'll give him credit. That's creative. And then with the other side, it should be the same thing. Okay, so you want the car facing towards the sky. Very gently pull it apart. There we go. Go ahead and extend that forward. Pull those wheels out a bit just so I can, there we go. And then go ahead and fold those wheels down underneath, and then that will just clip in like that. Okay, I apologize for the wobbliness. I kind of have to do this by hand because he's so freaking massive, but amazingly, he's quite stable. He's very stable, actually. And I just farted real hard. Anyway, overall, I mean, he looks good. He's nice and stable. He cleans up very nicely. A lot better than the Combiner Wars one. If you don't like this breakdown, you could also use the original one if you wanted to. So I figured I'd demonstrate that real quick. So you can still use the original. The only downside is you would have to use the original Wild Rider for the other leg, because you'll find out very quickly that, oh, I didn't bring out the feet. Crap. The only thing is the leg is significantly shorter, so you would have to use Wild Rider for the other leg, but, I mean, it really is up to you at that point. I'm going to go ahead and put back the other breakdown. Okay, final thoughts. Overall, the set is pretty good. I mean, it's a lot better than the Combiner Wars one in combined mode. I still think these guys hold up as individual bots. Yes, they're more simplistic, but they're just a lot more fun to handle. And overall, depending on whether you consider this an upgrade is entirely up to you. I'm happy with both. I'm going to keep these as my individual bots. And then, you know, obviously he'll stay in combined form. And as you can see, he decided to sit on my squad car and completely destroy it. But, that's just me being silly. How you feel about the car mode is entirely up for you to decide. Me, personally, it doesn't bother me that much because of the reasons I stated. But, again, it's up for you to decide. You know, which car modes speak better to you. But overall, I mean, as figures, I mean, his combined mode is garbage, but his makes up for it. But as individual bots, I mean, I think they're fine. But again, it's up to you. It depends on what you want and what you prefer. Do you want a more stable combiner, or do you want fairly decent individual bots? But even then, the individual bots on that one are still pretty good. But, I mean, I liked them. I mean, I bought a second. I might repaint this into a Magnum PI custom. I'm thinking about it. But anyway, I'm sorry this video went on so long, but you all have a good one.
Hallelujah! Another soul saved!